The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of March 10, 2025 are here. Next week, fans can expect Sharon Newman and Philly Summers to be done playing nice with each other. Meanwhile, Lily Winters faces a temptation. As for Claire Grace Newman, she could face an impossible choice. Keep reading and let's discuss what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Sharon Newman's Brawl. During the week of March 10, fans will see Phillies and Sharon continue trying to play by their mysterious captor's rules. The women made a deal to play nice in order to get out of there. The only way they think to get out alive is to work together. However, things are coming to a fever pitch. It seems likely that Phillies and Sharon could end up in a brawl with each other. Is that when the kidnapper's identity will be revealed? Claire Grace Newman's impossible choice. Over with Claire, she might face an impossible choice. First, Claire assured Kyle Abbott that she wouldn't break up with someone she truly cared for just because Victor Newman said so. However, Claire might already be starting to eat her words. More recently, Victor exploded while speaking about Claire and Kyle's relationship. So, Victor could force Claire to make a choice, family or love. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Victor will certainly divide Claire and Kyle. If he doesn't cause a breakup, he will certainly cause tension and fights. That will provide Summer Newman an opportunity to inch closer to her former flame. Kyle will try to set down boundaries, but Summer will continue to feel a pull towards her ex-husband. Audra Charles' risk. Over with Audra Charles, she is in dangerous territory plotting with Holden Novak. However, Audra isn't the only one with a plan. Lily Winters' temptation. Lily was warned by Nate Hastings that she overstepped. Nate was furious when he learned that Lily did a background check on Damian Kane and went to Victor to do it. Nate warned Lily to back off, but she might not be able to resist temptation, especially if Damian keeps pursuing her. Lily just might take advantage of Damian's interest in her. While Damian wasn't very open during that dinner date, he did make her laugh. So, if Lily gets closer to Damian in order to learn his secrets, could she accidentally fall in love? Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what happens next. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Friday, March 7, reveal that Victor Newman will predict disaster while Audra Charles keeps secrets. Jack Abbott will also promise Summer Newman something, so let's talk about what's ahead on Y and R. For starters, Victor may land on the hot seat with Claire Newman, who's grown concerned about her grandpa potentially pushing Summer to reunite with Kyle Abbott. Claire may flat out ask Victor if he's trying to sabotage her relationship by sending Summer after Kyle. Victor may not be willing to confess that, but he might admit he feels Kyle and Summer's reunion is inevitable. Regardless, Victor will make another prediction about the heartbreak Claire will be signing up for if her romance goes any deeper. Claire and Kyle are on the road to disaster, at least from Victor's perspective. At some point during this conversation, Victor will deliver an ultimatum. That could be an attempt to convince Claire to stop asking for Victor's approval, or else she'll just end up disappointed. Then again, Victor's ultimatum might tie in with Kyle and Summer instead. Perhaps Victor will warn Claire to dump Kyle now, or else she's guaranteed to face devastation later. Meanwhile, Summer will have a discussion of her own with Jack, who may sense that Summer's feeling left out now that Kyle and Claire are dating. It's easy to imagine Jack giving Summer a pep talk about how she'll always be part of the Abbott family as Harrison Abbott's mom. Jack won't want Summer feeling like an outsider, so that may be why he'll give her some reassurance. Whatever the case, Jack will make a vow to Summer on Friday's Y and R episode and try to ease her mind. Unfortunately, that won't stop Summer from spiraling due to her jealousy, and ultimately plotting new ways to win Kyle back. Meanwhile, Audra will agree to sit down with Holden Novak, so that'll give them a chance to strategize. Although Audra told Nate Hastings about her connection to Holden, she didn't reveal the whole story. Audra had an especially intense connection with Holden, so it was more than just a handful of dates. Once Audra speaks with Holden, she may stress the importance of downplaying their past romance. That said, Holden may offer helpful ideas when it comes to pushing Damian Kane to truly bond with Nate and Amy Louise. It looks like Holden may try to manipulate the situation and scheme with Audra on this, so they can spend more time together. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Audra will keep more secrets from Nate, so stay tuned for updates on all the troubling news that could bring. The Young and the Restless scoop for Thursday, March 6 reveals Summer Newman will ask Kyle Abbott if he's in love with Claire Newman. Also coming up, Nikki Newman will counsel her granddaughter. Plus, Devin Winters will have questions for Lily Winters about Damian Kane. And Nate Hastings will have good news for Amy Louise. Y and R spoilers tease Lily will introduce Damian to Devin. They'll discuss Nate's job offer, which Damian will say was bogus to begin with. Then Devin will ask if he can ask him a question. "Feel free, I have nothing to hide," he'll reply. So Devin will ask if he's sure about that, because last he checked, his name isn't Aristotle Dumas, which means you don't own any of the companies that you claim to own. Lily will explain she felt compelled to investigate him. Devin will ask why Damian sent someone to impersonate him with Nate. Damian will say the offer came out of nowhere and raised a lot of red flags. Y and our daily scoop, Devin gets what Damian is going through. Lily will take a call and Devin will tell Damian he didn't know who his biological father was for a long time, so he can relate to what he's going through. But there are things about you and your past that just don't add up, Devin will add. But I'm still willing to give you the benefit of the doubt. Lily will return and Damian will ask her out to dinner again, and she'll tell him she'll let him know. After Damian leaves, Devin will wonder why Lily is defending him. Is this turning into something personal for you? But she'll deny it and say she's as curious as he is. Meanwhile, Nate will tell Amy that Damian's companies are owned by someone named Aristotle Dumas and he's CEO. Amy will actually be relieved because she was worried about where he'd gotten the money to buy 2 companies. Talk will turn to her health and Nate will say the oncologist he knows is in town and wants to see her today. Amy will say it makes her feel hopeful. Things are looking up in so many ways, she'll add. Why not believe in this miracle too? There'll be a knock on his door and it's Damian, inviting his mom to lunch, but the oncologist will arrive. Damian will say he's happy Amy's getting another opinion. Then he'll ask Nate to have lunch with him while Amy meets with the oncologist. At the GCAC, Summer will tell Kyle she hasn't heard from her mom since the call from the burner phone. It just makes me think that maybe something bad really did happen, she'll add, tearing up. Kyle will reach out and embrace her just as Claire walks in. Young and the Restless scoop, Nikki advises her not to be intimidated. She'll approach and ask Summer if something's wrong. Kyle will say no one's heard anything from Philly Summers, Michelle Stafford. Summer will look uncomfortable as Kyle put his arm around his girlfriend and praises her. Claire will say she feels more and more comfortable in her new life each day. I guess anywhere would be more comfortable than the hell Jordan put you through, Claire will reply. Making you do all those horrible things to our family. Nikki will arrive and Summer will ask if Kyle can give her a ride back to the office. They'll head out and Nikki will ask Claire if everything's all right. I get the feeling Summer's not so happy about my relationship with Kyle, she'll reply. So Nikki will ask if she's worried that Summer wants Kyle back. Do you think it's possible that Grandpa is urging Summer to get back with Kyle? Claire will reply. Nikki will ask why she thinks that and Claire will say Summer seems emboldened when it comes to Kyle. and Nikki will tell Claire to not let herself be intimidated by her. Finally, Summer and Kyle will arrive at Crimson Lights, and he'll ask if she's got a problem with his relationship with Claire. She'll say she just has protective feelings for him and doesn't want him to get hurt. Then she'll warn him her grandfather will try to mess things up for them and ask if it's really worth it. "It's more than worth it," he'll reply. So Summer will ask if he's falling in love with Claire. "Love?" he'll reply. "Honestly, I don't know if our relationship has reached that stage, but I can see it getting there." He'll add he hopes she's being sincere, that it isn't an issue with her. Summer will say of course it isn't, but is she just telling Kyle what he wants to hear? The Young and the Restless spoilers for Thursday, March 6th, center on Claire as Nikki offers her profound advice and Kyle hustles to make her life easier. Next on Y&R, Nikki has done it all. Nikki has been through it all. Claire thinks she had it rough. Please hold Grandma's beer. Claire was kidnapped. Nikki has been kidnapped more times than Claire has been alive. Claire had an insane aunt. Nikki had a rapist for a father. Claire went from executive assistant to nanny to executive. Nikki went from stripper to society grand dame to executive. Oh, and a candidate for state senate. This means that Nikki can advise on any problem Claire thinks she has. So she does. Keep away. One of Claire's current troubles is Summer. She's Kyle's ex-wife and Harrison's presumptive mother. She keeps popping up whenever Claire and Kyle want to pretend that Summer never existed. Kyle realizes this is making Claire sad, and so he goes to Summer to set some ground rules. Leave poor, innocent, only periodically homicidal Claire alone. Kyle is totally devoted to her now, just like he used to be to Summer. Who knows what? Nate was furious that Lily went behind his back and had dinner with Damien in order to get intel for Amy. Devin was furious with Lily, too, in solidarity. But once that solidarity wears off, Devin gets curious about what Lily learned. So he goes to his sister with more questions. Guess Lily acting on her own isn't that big of a deal when there's something that Devin wants to know. We assume Nate will eventually get on this bandwagon too. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Friday, March 7, reveal that Victor Newman will predict disaster while Otter Charles keeps secrets. Jack Abbott will also promise Summer Newman something. So let's talk about what's ahead on Y&R. For starters, Victor may land on the hot seat with Claire Newman, who's grown concerned about her grandpa potentially pushing Summer to reunite with Kyle Abbott. Claire may flat out ask Victor if he's trying to sabotage her relationship by sending Summer after Kyle. Victor may not be willing to confess that, but he might admit he feels Kyle and Summer's reunion is inevitable. Regardless, Victor will make another prediction about the heartbreak Claire will be signing up for if her romance goes any deeper. Claire and Kyle are on the road to disaster, at least from Victor's perspective. At some point during this conversation, Victor will deliver an ultimatum. That could be an attempt to convince Claire to stop asking for Victor's approval, or else she'll just end up disappointed. Then again, Victor's ultimatum might tie in with Kyle and Summer instead. Perhaps Victor will warn Claire to dump Kyle now, or else is guaranteed to face devastation later. Meanwhile, Summer will have a discussion of her own with Jack, who may sense that Summer's feeling left out now that Kyle and Claire are dating. It's easy to imagine Jack giving Summer a pep talk about how she'll always be part of the Abbott family as Harrison Abbott's mom. Jack won't want Summer feeling like an outsider, so that may be why he'll give her some reassurance. Whatever the case, Jack will make a vow to Summer on Friday's Y&R episode and try to ease her mind. Unfortunately, that won't stop Summer from spiraling due to her jealousy and ultimately plotting new ways to win Kyle back. Meanwhile, Audra will agree to sit down with Holden Novak so that it'll give them a chance to strategize. Although Audra told Nate Hastings about her connection to Holden, she didn't reveal the whole story. Audra had an especially intense connection with Holden, so it was more than just a handful of dates. Once Audra speaks with Holden, she may stress the importance of downplaying their past romance. That said, Holden may offer helpful ideas when it comes to pushing Damian Kane to truly bond with Nate and Amy Lewis. It looks like Holden may try to manipulate the situation and scheme with Audra on this so they can spend more time together. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Audra will keep more secrets from Nate, so stay tuned for updates on all the troubling news that could bring. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that there's obviously some competition when it comes to Billy Abbott and Adam Newman. That's especially true now that Newman Media will be going up against Abbott Communications. However, the conflict runs deeper than that since there's a bit of a romantic rivalry going on too. After Chelsea Lawson cheated with Adam, it ultimately pushed Billy and Sally Spectra together. Although Adam has moved on and genuinely seems to want Chelsea now, it still stings a little for Billy to be with Sally. It could also create a competitive vibe between the pairings as their love stories move forward. Adam claims he can be patient with Chelsea, but Y and R fans know that's never been his strong suit. Likewise, Billy is an impulsive guy who often makes bold moves without really thinking them through. With all that in mind, we have to ask, who will propose marriage first? Will it be Adam who pops the question to Chelsea or Billy who gets down on one knee for Sally? Chelsea and Adam have obviously been married before, not to mention she already moved in with him. It may be easy for Adam and Chelsea to start feeling like a married couple as they fall harder and live under the same roof. That could lead to Adam getting ahead of himself and throwing the whole patience thing out the window, especially after he reconnects with Chelsea in the bedroom. Adam has been known to propose too quickly and at inappropriate moments in recent years, so he may continue that pattern. Of course, we should also consider the possibility that Billy will buy an engagement ring and try to push Sally toward the altar first. It could freak Sally out and put their relationship in jeopardy if Billy proposes too quickly. Bottom line, Adam and Billy are both known for self-sabotage, so either of them could wreck things with a proposal that happens too soon. Since Billy and Adam feel this need to compete with each other, that could be a factor in rushing their romantic developments as well. Do you think Adam will be first in line when it comes to pushing for a wedding? Could it be Billy who rushes a marriage proposal to Sally instead? The Young and the Restless spoilers say Billy and Adam will continue to compete. So stick with us for more love story predictions and updates on any engagement news on the horizon. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that 3 major secrets will leak, so some big revelations will stun Genoa City in the coming weeks. Let's talk about shockers that are still to come on the CBS soap. 1. Sharon and Philly's kidnapper exposed. For starters, Sharon Newman and Philly's Summers kidnapper will finally be exposed. Philly's and Sharon have been trapped in an old psychiatric facility where they've reluctantly joined forces to play a strange game. Sharon and Philly's captor knows their history and seemingly wants them to work together, so they've wondered if a friend or family member might be doing all this. Michael Baldwin could be a good kidnapper option, but nothing's set in stone just yet. Philly's and Sharon have also considered the possibility that the person to blame knows and hates them, so there's a chance someone surprising will be revealed as the kidnapper instead. 2. Audra and Holden's deeper history unravels. It's clear that Audra Charles and Holden Novak have a deeper history than Nate Hastings realizes. Audra hasn't told Nate about the intensity of her past relationship with Holden, and it seems like she's leaving some other things out too. Although Audra admitted Holden came to her rescue against some sleazy music execs, it seems like there was more to the story. Audra also hinted about Holden living on the edge and scaring her during their former romance, so there's a lot more to unpack when it comes to these two. What exactly went down back in Los Angeles? Y and R will no doubt reveal some other stunning details as this storyline moves along. 3. Aristotle Dumas' face and motives revealed. There's been a lot of talk about Aristotle Dumas and what an enigma he is. Aristotle has gone to great lengths to keep a low profile, including letting Damien Kane masquerade as the owner of a couple companies owned by Aristotle himself. Damien is being cagey about his connection to Aristotle, so Y&R will have to reveal how they met and why things are so shady. Aristotle could become a new baddie on canvas once he finally shows his face and reveals his true motives. The voice that has kidnapped the young and the restless Sharon and Phillies may have gone too far with the clue that he dropped on his victims on March 4. What is worth everything, he asked, and costs nothing? The answer, obviously, is time. On one hand, it's invaluable, and on the other, you don't have to put it on your debit card. But how, you ask? Does this reveal the abductor's identity? Simple. Who would want to make Sharon and Phillies appreciate the preciousness of time? Their loved ones might, including the one we were sure for a hot minute was the guilty party. But given how worried Sharon and Phillies' families are, that doesn't track. And after what the women have just been put through by Ian and Jordan, you'd have to be a pretty poor relation to willingly traumatize either Sharon or Phillies further. Who does that leave? Ian. We know he's alive, and it's a big all-plot hole that Victor, Nick, and co don't. How on earth would they not have wanted to watch the villain's body slide into the incinerator? But we digress. Ian, what with being reformed, and all, could consider it a good deed, forcing Sharon and Phillies to reflect upon all the time that they've wasted at one another's throats. On the flip side, Ian being mad as a hatter, he could then exact the revenge that he's been after by announcing that now that their eyes have been opened as well as their hearts, he's going to kill them both. You forced us to realize that we could have been friends all these years just to make sure that we couldn't be friends in the future. Sharon and Phyllis ask, shocked. Goody. You understand perfectly, Ian says. First you had to see the error of your ways. Now you have to experience the consequences of your foolish feud. You took every chance the two of you had and tossed it aside. You're all out of chances now. You're all out of time. But he adds, congratulations on winning the game. With that, Ian leaves, never to return. Would Sharon and Phyllis actually croak? Of course not. The show is as likely to kill them as it is to change its name from Young and Restless to CEOs and Psychos. But when they are rescued, they as well as we would be looking at a very uncertain future. What would the soap be like if they actually talked with each other instead of lash out at one another? The Young and the Restless spoilers indicate that both Sharon Newman and Phyllis Summers' families are worried sick about them. Considering that Jordan Howard and Ian Ward supposedly just died, it seems they would come to mind first as a culprit. Why is no one verifying that both Jordan and Ian are dead? People tend to come back from the dead in Genoa City. It isn't exactly a strange thing for people to come back from the dead in Genoa City. Phyllis did it herself not too long ago. With both Phyllis and Sharon missing, it would certainly be worth looking into just to be sure Ian and Jordan are gone. Of course, fans know that Ian's eyes popped open on the ambulance ride to the morgue. It is very unlikely that Ian actually made it to the morgue. Ian probably managed to disappear from the ambulance or even overtake the drivers. Isn't it about time that someone from the ambulance company informed the Newmans of Ian's body disappearing? Does no one realize just how dangerous this man is? Ian Ward is out for revenge. Ian has been out for revenge for years, and the Newmans are sitting ducks in this situation. Victor Newman has already gotten shot saving Nikki Newman. The Newmans should be the first person to suspect that Ian could still be alive. If Ian is behind this kidnapping, he could pick the Newmans off like sitting ducks. Is Ian the one behind this kidnapping? Ian was in prison for several years, but he could know about things that went down between Sharon and Phyllis as well. Who else would have Phyllis and Sharon playing this game for their lives? Will someone finally check the morgue to find out about Ian's disappearance before it is too late? Claire Newman is in just as much danger. Everyone went with the story that Jordan killed herself, which technically that may be true. Unfortunately, Claire is the one who fixed that tea that Jordan drank. If Ian has any inkling that Claire is responsible for Jordan's death, she will be his next target. Could Kyle Abbott be the one to save Claire from Ian's attack? Claire could think this would finally prove to Victor how good Kyle is and how much he cares about her. It isn't likely that Victor will see eye to eye with her on this. Victor wants Kyle out of Claire's life no matter what. Will Claire be the one who discovers that Ian is alive and behind all of this? Michelle Stafford has had many interesting storylines on The Young and the Restless. Her character Phyllis usually finds herself pulling an outrageous stunt or in some type of trouble. Yet, Phyllis' current story is one experience that Stafford won't forget. Great experiences. As Genoa City's feisty, sometimes villainous redhead, Stafford's been involved in many entertaining plots and scenes. From getting into catfights to wearing disguises to committing murder, there's never a dull moment as Phyllis. Stafford's latest storyline is something different for Phyllis. The redhead and her longtime rival Sharon have been kidnapped by a mysterious assailant. The women must work together and figure out a series of puzzles if they want to escape. Phyllis and Sharon's story have intrigued viewers. Aside from curiosity about the kidnapper's identity, fans wonder if the women will survive and come out as friends. The story has not only been enjoyable for Y&R fans, but also for Stafford. This was one of the most unique, challenging, and funnest experiences I've ever had on Y&R, Stafford wrote. I've had so many great experiences with so many great actors and storylines on this show for sure. This one is up there at the top. Stafford's on-screen partner Case agreed with her. Yes, for me too. It was all of that, Case commented on the post. Their co-stars are also loving the actress's work in the storyline. Y'all are next level, Susan Walters wrote. You both are amazing, Kate Linder commented. There's no denying that Stafford and Case are bringing their A game during Phyllis and Sharon's captivity. The storyline is currently one of the top highlights on Y&R with its suspense, drama, and humor. The Young and the Restless celebrates 4 to 5 years of Victor Newman with beautiful tribute video. Co-stars pay homage to Eric Braeden. The Young and the Restless spoilers indicate that February 8, 1980, was a big moment for the soap, the day Victor Newman stepped into the land of Genoa City. The little town has never been the same since the mustache rolled in, and this is all thanks to the incredible Eric Braeden who brings this character to life. The Y&R's cast and crew recently came together to honor both Victor and Eric, both icons in the land of daytime drama. The soap celebrates 4 to 5 years of not giving a damn. The daytime drama posted a very special video on Saturday, February 8, highlighting a party on set that celebrated 4 to 5 years of both Braeden and Victor being on the Y&R. The caption to the video read, "The man, the myth, the legend. Happy 45th to our very own Victor Newman anniversary #YR #daytime drama #soap opera." The video has the following words splashed across the screen. Y&R celebrates Eric Braeden's 45th anniversary. The soap's cast and crew gathered to honor this incredible milestone. And the video starts off with Victor's arch-nemesis, Peter Bergman, saying a few words about his beloved colleague on a podium set up backstage. Eric Braeden's co-stars share beautiful words. Tracy Bregman starts things off by offering some kind words to Eric via the video, stating, "You are absolutely amazing, and I adore," and Melody Thomas Scott chimed in noting, "I love you so much, I adored you forever." Meanwhile, Crystal Colo goes on to say, "You are a legend and icon," and as the camera pans to Jason Thompson, he jokingly states, "I'm just on Eric Braeden time." Joshua Morrow offers a fun Victor Newman story as he retells the first day he arrives on set to play his son. as the character went from a baby and was Sora said to a young adult. When Mara was introduced to Eric, he looked at him and stated, "How bizarre." Michelle Stafford and Sharon Case both wished Eric a happy 45th, noting that they are both right behind him, as the women just celebrated their 30th anniversary. Then, Brighton James appeared, revealing the first thing Eric taught him while on set was to listen, as Brighton spent time with Breeden on his first day on the Y&R set. Melissa Claire Egan shares how Eric makes her laugh every day, while Courtney Hoke chimes in with, "But if he starts tearing up in a scene, it's over." The Abbotts had nice things to say. The video goes on to show Susan Walters, who states that Diane and Victor had a very long scene once, with approximately 2 pages of monologue for Diane. Walters notes that by about the half part of the first page, Eric tells her, "Diane Jenkins, stop your babbling." Michael Mueller exposes Breeden to a degree, telling fans in the video that, contrary to popular belief, you are a massive softie. Laura Lee Bell and Christian LeBlanc state, "We love everything about Eric Breeden," and then begin a happy anniversary song and dance. The video pans to Michelle and Sharon once again as the ladies scream, "Congrats," and then Melody blows a kiss to the camera as she notes, "I'll see you on Tuesday." The video closes with Eric at the podium, saying, "Thanks," as the camera pans out to the applause of the Y&R's cast and crew. "On behalf of everyone here, we'd like to wish Eric Breeden a massive congratulations for 4 to 5 years at the Y&R. Comment on his milestone below. Check out the Y&R on CBS Daily for your fill of Genoa City drama, and visit this site often for all the best Young and the Restless updates, news, and spoilers." The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Kyle Abbott isn't in love with Claire Newman yet. So is the delay a bad sign? Should Kyle and Claire have already reached that milestone by now? Of course, we should point out that soap love stories tend to move pretty quickly. What works for real-life lovers doesn't necessarily work as well on daytime dramas. It's perfectly reasonable for 2 people to take their time and not want to rush their relationship in the real world. However, that kind of thing could be a red flag on a soap when everyone tends to fall in love lightning fast. In the March 6 episode, Summer Newman put Kyle on the spot about his feelings for Claire. Once the topic of whether Kyle was falling in love with Claire came up, Kyle had an interesting response. Kyle admitted he honestly didn't know if their relationship had reached that state yet. Although Kyle could see it getting there eventually, he insisted the last thing he wanted to do was force anything. Kyle and Claire want to let things develop naturally according to him, so they're going for a more organic approach here. Will that turn out to be good news or bad news in the end? There are a couple of ways you could look at Kyle's love delay. Some fans might argue that it shows growth for Kyle, who perhaps fell in love too fast in the past, like in his romance with Lola Rosales. However, others might argue that it's a warning sign, since Kyle doesn't usually take this long to decide he's fallen in love. Kyle and Claire have been close for quite some time, and they've been intimate on multiple occasions. Claire and Kyle have had plenty of moments of connection in recent months, but Kyle still isn't willing to confirm he's fallen in love with her at this point. Is there a reason why Kyle is dragging his feet here? Could it be a hint that maybe Claire and Kyle aren't meant to be together after all? Our Y&R predictions indicate that Kyle and Claire's relationship will come with more curveballs no matter what, so we'll bring you updates on all the obstacles. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Claire and Kyle will have to figure out what the future holds. The Young and the Restless spoilers. In the ever-twisting narrative of Genoa City, an enigmatic plot has begun to unfold, sending shockwaves through both the characters on screen and the fervent fan base who have followed their every move for decades. Rumors swirl around a mysterious directive, an order given to Phillies and Sharon to deliberately distort their voices during a clandestine conversation. However, As events progress, it becomes evident that this is no ordinary act of misdirection. For Phillies, this order is imbued with personal familiarity, a hint that the mastermind behind these bizarre instructions is someone from her past. In a daring twist of strategy, she deliberately prolongs the forced dialogue, using his very own words as ammunition to unmask the truth. The unfolding mystery. The plot thickens as whispers circulate among the shadowy corridors of Genoa City. Many believe that Michael is at the helm of this dangerous game. According to the grapevine, Michael, a character known for his calculated and measured demeanor, has been secretly orchestrating a series of events aimed at destabilizing the established order. Although the rumor lacks concrete evidence and is largely dismissed by insiders as wild conjecture, it carries enough weight to make fans scrutinize every modulated inflection of voice they hear. Some viewers are convinced that Michael's unmistakable vocal cadence can be detected amidst the cacophony of manipulated sounds, suggesting that he is, in fact, involved in activities far removed from his typical calculated self. Yet those who truly know Michael argue that such reckless behavior is entirely out of character. Michael, ever the embodiment of control and precision, would never commit an act so blatantly self-destructive. If not Michael, then who? The answer, as dangerous as it is unexpected, seems to lie in the formidable presence of Victor. Victor's shadow looms large over this twisted game. Known for his ruthless ambition and cunning strategy, Victor has been observed growing unusually close to Michael in recent times. Their newfound camaraderie, or perhaps a more sinister alliance, has fueled speculation that Victor may have orchestrated the entire fiasco. Some insiders whisper that Victor's objective is nothing short of staging a kidnapping, a high-stakes maneuver designed to cast suspicion on a scapegoat, thereby diverting attention from his own Machiavellian schemes. The idea of a staged abduction, manipulated by voices and veiled orders, is the perfect ploy for someone with Victor's appetite for control and drama. Phillies and the search for truth. In this convoluted narrative, the role of Phillies becomes increasingly pivotal. With her keen instincts and intimate knowledge of the hidden players in Genoa City, she senses that the voice she has recognized is more than just a random command. Realizing the potential ramifications of letting this information slip, Phillies turns the tables on her enigmatic interlocutor. She coaxes him into revealing more than he intends, setting in motion a chain of events that may ultimately expose the underlying betrayal. It is a calculated risk, a gambit that could either unmask the puppet master or plunge the city into further chaos. Rumors, reality, and the price of betrayal. The entire scenario has ignited fervent debate among the loyal viewers of Genoa City's most notorious dramas. While the rumor that Michael is the architect of this dissonant conspiracy persists, the intricacies of the plot hint at a far more elaborate scheme. Fans have begun to question the reliability of appearances, realizing that in the world of high-stakes power plays and veiled alliances, nothing is ever as it seems. What if Phillies, in the midst of this unfolding drama, were to inadvertently or deliberately utter Michael's name? The implications of such an action are chilling. For Michael, whose every move is calculated and whose voice is a trademark of his rationality, the sudden public association with this chaotic incident would be nothing short of catastrophic. Imagine a scenario where Phillies, armed with her newfound insight, exposes Michael's potential involvement, however indirect it might be. The shockwaves of such an exposure would undoubtedly force Michael into a corner, leaving him to scramble for a response that preserves his meticulously built facade. Would he retreat into a storm of denial, or would he retaliate with the same cold precision that has defined his career? The answer remains shrouded in uncertainty, leaving fans to ponder the true nature of loyalty and betrayal in the intricate game of power. The psychological warfare at play. The manipulation of voices, both literal and metaphorical, serves as a poignant metaphor for the broader theme of deception and control in Genoa City. By distorting their voices, Phyllis and Sharon are not merely altering sound waves. They are symbolically subverting narratives that have been carefully constructed over years of personal and political intrigue. This act of deliberate distortion is a calculated rebellion against the established order, a means of reclaiming agency in a world where every word can be weaponized. Victor's potential role in orchestrating such an elaborate charade further complicates the moral landscape. If indeed he is behind this perilous game, then his actions force a reckoning with the very essence of trust and power. His closeness with Michael, a figure typically associated with stability and rationality, adds an additional layer of complexity. It suggests that the forces at play in Genoa City are not simply the product of individual ambition, but are the result of intricate alliances and long-buried grudges that continue to shape the destiny of its inhabitants. A glimpse into the future. As the narrative hurtles toward an uncertain climax, the looming question remains: what will be the fallout once Phyllis finally unveils the true orchestrator behind the distorted voices? The potential for an explosive revelation has never been greater. Will Victor's machinations succeed in framing an unsuspecting individual, or will the truth emerge from the carefully spun web of lies and half-truths? And most importantly, how will Michael, if implicated by association, navigate the treacherous waters of public perception and personal honor? One thing is certain: in a world where every whispered command carries the weight of destiny, the characters of Genoa City are on the brink of a dramatic transformation. As Phyllis continues her covert investigation, and the voices, both manipulated and authentic, echo through the corridors of power, the stage is set for a showdown that promises to redefine alliances and rewrite the rules of engagement. Conclusion: the inevitable reckoning. In this tangled narrative of distorted voices and deceptive alliances, the stakes could not be higher. Each character's move is fraught with the potential for both redemption and ruin. The rumors linking Michael to this dangerous game, though largely unsubstantiated, have already begun to erode the carefully constructed barriers between friend and foe. With Victor's shadow looming large and the possibility of a staged kidnapping engineered to misdirect blame, Genoa City stands at the precipice of a monumental crisis. Phyllis's determination to unearth the truth, her ability to detect subtle cues in the voices that surround her, may well be the catalyst that exposes the dark underbelly of power and manipulation in the city. As she maneuvers through a labyrinth of lies and half-truths, the consequences of her actions will ripple across the lives of everyone involved. Will the revelation of Michael's name serve as the tipping point, forcing him to confront the consequences of this treacherous game? Or will it further entrench the machinations of Victor, leaving the innocent to bear the brunt of the fallout? The answers lie hidden in the whispers of Genoa City's most secretive corridors, waiting for the moment when truth and deception collide in a dramatic explosion of revelation and retribution.